Her triumphs, I took a group of women that didn't believe in themselves, and I just believed in them. Her trials.
I never wanted to go to practice. I was losing a ton of weight.
Her story.
I just put my faith in God and just trusted the system.
Her why.
I want people to see what I did and say, oh, that's so awesome. I'm gonna be better than that. That would be how I hope that this journey ends.
This is Her Why, where we tell the stories from BYU women's sports. Here is your host, Lauren McLean.
Her Why is where we celebrate the women who make BYU sports great. By sharing their stories of faith, perseverance, and success, we can all seek to be better. Their why to sports and life can help us find our why. The BYU women's soccer team added a national champion to their high-powered offense in the offseason. Ellie Walbruch is a transfer from UCLA, where she played in 13 games as a freshman, notching 1 goal, 9 shots, and a national championship ring in 2022. The Highland, Utah native is now playing a lot closer to home. Our interview with Ellie was before the start of the 2023 season.
So, Ellie, do you ever brag to your new teammates that you're a national champion? Because they got real close. They got real close with the cigar, right?
No, I don't, but I think it's awesome to be here, and I'm really excited for the upcoming spring games we have, and obviously the fall season in the Big 12. I think we're going to do really well, and I'm excited to bring what I have to this team.
What have things been like for you since you've arrived on BYU campus?
Yeah, they've been super awesome. I mean, I've known some of the girls growing up here in Utah. I played club with some of them. I mean, the soccer world's pretty small here, so we all know each other, and they've been nothing but welcoming and super excited for me to be here. I just kind of felt fit in really well. It was really an easy start and I really adapted well to it. It feels like where I should be, and I can call it home, and it's awesome. I love it.
So you transferred mid-year. What was it like when you first came to meet the team? You obviously knew 50% of them, but what was it like when you first kind of joined the team?
Yeah, it was really good. I was really excited. I didn't really have any nerves because I knew this is where I should be and this was my place. But all the girls were super welcoming. The coaches were awesome. And yeah, I just fit in really well, and it was really good to be here and really start up with the team. First practice, it was super easy and super flowing, and yeah, it was great. It was great.
Soccer's been a part of your life since you were just a little girl. In fact, you've known BYU head coach Jennifer Rockwood since you were 4 years old, playing for a local club soccer program. What has your relationship been like with Coach Rockwood over the years?
Yeah, I actually grew up doing the Celtic Academy, and she was a part of it. A lot of former players were my coaches, like Mercedes Koning. She's a really good friend of mine and mentor. But yeah, I've known Jen, and she's a role model to me. She's my mentor. She recruited me all through high school, and we've kept a really close relationship. Even though I did commit to UCLA, we still were really tight, and she was really happy for me and she was mad I didn't commit here, but she was very supportive. And once I called her when I was in the transfer portal, she was super excited. And we've just had that connection and relationship since I was so young that it was like, she was my mentor, and I really can trust her with many things. And she's a soccer legend. So, she's awesome. And we've been really close since I was little. So.
Obviously, you were good at a young age because you had a lot of coaches following you. What do you think Coach Rockwood and other coaches saw in you as a soccer player at such a young age?
Yeah, I'm a hard worker. I've worked hard. I've done the extra work ever since I was little. That's when I really started it, and I knew that soccer was my passion and that I wanted to be a D1 athlete and potentially go pro. And I just think people saw that in me, that I was such a hard worker, and I am a goal scorer, and I finish my opportunities when the ball gets to me in front of the goal. And that's what a lot of coaches want, is a goal scorer that can finish, because you need goals to win games. And yeah, I'm a goal scorer, and I think that's what a lot of people saw and need for their college team.
You started at such a young age. Do you remember enjoying the competition, or was it just kind of like other little kids that we think of being on the field and kicking the ball around, everyone's chasing the ball? Do you remember kind of being a little bit different in that regard where you actually enjoyed the competition?
Oh yeah, I think ever since I played rec soccer, I mean, I just had like a higher soccer IQ than people, my dad would say. I would just watch the ball and they were all clumped up and I would just watch the ball and right when it was popped out, I just went and dribbled it. And I think, yeah, I mean, one thing I love about soccer is the competition aspect. I mean, you live for it. It's the best part of the game because it is so competitive. And here at BYU, like our practices are all about competition, and that's one thing I thrive off of is pressure and competition. So it's been awesome, and it's super cool to have that competition in practice as well as in games.
Being so competitive, did you just focus on soccer, or were there other sports that you played as well?
Yeah, so my mom actually played basketball at Denver University. That's where she met my dad, who played soccer. But I played basketball until the development academy started, and that's when you had to choose one sport. And I went the soccer route. My mom was a little mad about it, but I think she understands now. But yeah, basketball was a big part of my childhood and growing up, and I'm so glad about that because I was an athlete and I loved playing multiple sports, but soccer was the route for me, and I'm glad I chose it.
Yeah, because you're 5'10", so you're not super short. So I'm sure your mom was like, "Come on,
I know,
play basketball."
That's what I said. I know, but yeah, she wanted
Is your mom
me to.
Is your mom tall is your mom tall as well?
She's not. She's only 5'7".
Okay.
So I mean, she's average, but yeah, my dad's not that tall either. But my brother, I mean, he's 6'4", so I got some of his height.
So you attended American Fork High School, but I don't believe you ever competed for their soccer team. So who did you play for during your junior high and high school years?
Yeah, so I didn't play high school soccer. That was just a choice by me, but I played with a boys team in the fall of my junior year. And I just loved it. I loved going against bigger, stronger boys. I mean, it was faster pace.
Wow.
Everything was faster. And I think it just really prepared me for the ECNL season, which was in the spring. So I did that my junior year, and then my fall of my senior year, right before I went to UCLA, I actually went to Colorado and played with Real Colorado. My aunt lived there, so I lived with my aunt and attended online school for the fall of my senior year because I played with Real Colorado over there, which I'm so grateful for because I made so many good friends that I'll keep lifelong. And they have amazing coaches over there that I've learned a lot from. And I mean, they've taught U.S. national players like Mal Pugh and Sophia Smith. So I got a lot of their expertise of coaching. And yeah, I'm so grateful for that. And I think for me, not playing high school was the best choice I could have made. And I'm grateful I did make that choice.
And you mentioned ECNL. What does that stand for?
Yeah, it's Elite Clubs League National. It's like a league for girls that you travel. It's like a travel league.
Okay, that's awesome. So where was your? Is it La Roca or La Roca?
Yeah, La Roca.
La Roca FC Soccer Club. Where was that team based?
Yeah, they were based in Ogden, Utah.
Okay, so were were your teammates from all around the state?
Yeah, so there was probably about 4 or 5 of us down south. So like I was in American Fork. There was a girl in Orem. There was a girl in Harriman and West Jordan. So we would all kind of carpool up to Ogden every day. So it was about an hour and 15 drive, 4 times a week, and we'd all carpool. So it was a big sacrifice, but it was for the best. It was the best coaching you could get.
Tell me a little bit about that. Where'd you guys play your games? Did you play out of state? What was that like?
Yeah. So we'd play our games. If we had home games, we'd play them up there. They have like it's called the Roca Park in Ogden where we practice. They have some outdoor fields. But if we traveled, so we would travel to California, Seattle, Arizona, and then there'd be some showcases, probably 2 times a year that one of them would be in like North Carolina or Houston or Florida, like some tropical, nice place. And all the college scouts, U.S. scouts would go there to watch. And yeah, that's where most
Wow.
college coaches recruit, and US Scouts are there to recruit also. So yeah, it was super fun. It was because that's where you thrive, is like with all the college coaches watching. So it was really fun and a great experience at such a young age.
What's the competition like compared to high school soccer that would make you want to kind of forego that high school soccer experience for this league?
Yeah. I think for me, it was just about the faster pace, and I wanted to stay at that fast pace, soccer pace wise, just the speed of play, playing against better competition, girls, because you're playing the best of the best from every state. So it's just better competition overall. And I just think it would help me stay healthy, stay motivated for the next season in ECNL.
So obviously you still had to go to school. I'm sure you were so busy with these leagues. How did you get any schoolwork done?
Yeah. It was, I mean, the good thing about ECNL, it like prepares you for college, is managing all your school, your soccer, your social, your religious, all of it you have to manage. And I think that's what's so great about ECNL, is it helps you manage it at such a young age. So you get in the flow, you get in the schedule, you get in the routine. And yeah, I mean, I would do my school every time on the plane rides and on the bus rides to games, bus rides to practice. And yeah, I got it done. So I got straight A's, I got it done, but it was good. And it taught you at such a young age how to manage all the things what are important to you.
So it's probably safe to say that soccer was kind of your life during that time of your life.
Exactly. Eat, breathe, sleep, soccer.
Yes, absolutely. But do you
Yeah.
feel like you missed out on anything high school wise, dances, anything like that because of your soccer schedule, or do you have zero regrets in that regard?
Yeah, honestly, for me, I have zero regrets. I sacrificed what I thought was most important because my eyes was all soccer. I wanted to be a Division I athlete, and I just kind of put that at the top before anything else. I mean, obviously, I still was able to attend prom and homecoming and go to some baseball games, football games. But if I did have to miss, I did miss, because I knew soccer was going to be my life and that's what I wanted. So I did have to sacrifice, but no, I wouldn't change anything at all.
You're also on an all-star team outside of Utah. How were you picked to be on those teams?
Yeah, those are selected by scouts for ECNL. They kind of just take all your stats, all how you play in the games, and kind of just put it all together, and they choose you. And I was very fortunate enough to be chosen, and I'm grateful for that. But I mean, in those showcase games, those like really matter because a lot of people are watching. So that's the time to perform. And if you perform, you get chosen, and I perform. So I'm very grateful for that.
You committed to play for UCLA at age 14. That is incredible to me. Why did you make that commitment so early?
Yeah. So there was a whole rule change. So the rule change now is that you have to wait until your junior year to commit to a college. And back then that wasn't a thing. So that's why I did commit so early, because college coaches were vicious and wanted you that early, you know?
Wow.
But yeah, so the change started in May 30th, I want to say. May 30th? Yeah, I think that's right. And I actually committed April 29th, right before the rule change. And I'm grateful I did, because COVID eventually happened and it kind of screwed a lot of people. So I'm really glad I committed. And yeah, because it made me more motivated. I had that name under my belt that I was the UCLA commit, quote unquote. So it made me play better, and yeah, I loved it.
So obviously you're only 14 years old, so you had to have had some help from your parents and maybe some of your family members. What were they thinking, and what were they doing to help you through this process?
Yeah, I mean, my parents are my number one fans, my number one supporters, and they've been through it all. For them being college athletes, I think they kind of had an upper hand, and they helped me a lot. They taught me what I should be looking for when I choose colleges, and what my priorities were, and what I wanted in my future, and stuff like that, that really helped me think and what made my choice. to commit to UCLA. So they were super supportive, and they just wanted what was best for me. And that's what I chose, is to commit to UCLA, and they were all for it and were super happy for me. So just having those people being so supportive meant so much to me.
Why did UCLA appeal to you specifically?
Yeah. So at the time, the coaches were Amanda Cromwell, Sam Green, and those are the two that really recruited me. And I was just very drawn to them, their coaching style, the style of play they played. Um, I loved that the fact I was in California. I loved it. I mean, I loved the coaching staff. That was the main reason I did choose there, because they were so invested in me, is why I really committed there in the first place.
We'll get to the coaching staff a little bit later, but let's talk about Coach Rockwood had been recruiting you from a young age. What was she saying to you after you committed to UCLA? Did you guys have any conversations?
Well, that's the sucky part, is that right as I committed, I called UCLA. I said, "Hey, I'm going to commit." So then I had to call all of my other coaches and like say, "Hey, I chose to commit to UCLA." But being it was April 29th and the rule changed May 1st, it was hard because I was flying home from Denver, so it was late, and I don't know if she was sleeping, but then I did end up sending her a long text that I think she saw, but she couldn't text back because of the rule change. So I know, unfortunate, but I mean, we kept a really close connection. I always saw her around whenever I was in town. I mean, my little sister goes to the BYU camps as well, so I would see her there. So we were really tight, and her and my mom are really close friends. So the relationship was still there.
When we come back, Ellie talks about playing on her national championship Bruins squad. This is her why. Welcome back to Her Why. You're talking with BYU Soccer's Ellie Walbruch. We interviewed her prior to the 2023 season.
So you committed to UCLA back when we were 14. You mentioned Amanda Cromwell was the Bruins head coach, and she was the coach right up until the middle of your senior year in high school, and then she left to go coach professionally. Did your commitment ever waver at all after she left?
It didn't. No, I was still 100% in and bought into going to UCLA. I mean, it was kind of a shock, and I was sad about it because that's who I wanted to be playing for, is Amanda Cromwell. So it was kind of out of the blue, but no, yeah, it was good, but yeah, it was sad to hear that news, but I was still 100% in, and nothing really changed my mind.
So you committed to this place when you were 14. What was it like when you finally made it to Westwood to actually start playing soccer?
Yeah, it was super awesome, and I've been waiting for that moment for a while. So yeah, I did go in January. So I graduated high school early and went in January, and there was 2 other freshmen besides me that came along. So it was just kind of us getting through it all together and just getting adapted to the college environment. Being at UCLA, it was still very COVID-y. So that was a hard thing, because socially you were not really going to classes. You're still wearing masks, very social distancing. That was really hard for me because I am a social person. I like being out. So that was hard, is the COVID aspect, and being there and adapting to that was hard, but it was really fun. And the girls were, I mean, like I said, I've met some of my closest friends at UCLA. The upperclassmen were awesome, very inclusive, and yeah, I mean, I'll cherish those friendships forever, and I can still call all those girls today and catch up, and they'd be willing to do it. So my teammates were awesome, and I'm so grateful for meeting them.
COVID had to have been so strange, starting in a brand new place. I'm sure you're a little homesick. Like you said, it was just a little bit strange. But when it came to soccer, did you feel comfortable on the soccer pitch with your new teammates at that time?
Yeah, I did. It was hard to adapt. I mean, the speed of play was faster. The girls were stronger. You're going against, I mean, a lot of the girls were national team players, so they've been in that. But that's the good thing about it, is you're playing such competitive people that it makes you better, even in practice. So that was a really awesome experience to be at. But yeah, so for me, I actually went into UCLA with an injury. I had an MCL tear. So that was a little difficult to be out and watching people play because, I mean, I've never had an injury before, but the recovery process was pretty quick and I was back at it in no time. So,
Did you have any inkling that this team could win a national title?
yeah, I mean, at the beginning, we set really high goals. I mean, that was the biggest goal is win a national championship. And I think at the beginning, we had such good upperclassmen that were great leaders and they knew what they were doing, which I think they led us a lot through that is the players and our upperclassmen like Mary Carmen Reyes, Sunshine Fontes, all those girls, I think really led us to that. And I put a lot of credit to them because they did have this mentality of like, let's go out. Every practice needs to be like this. We need to act like we're national champions. And we're playing in a national championship every day in practice. So having that mentality was a big thing for the team. And I mean, it worked in the end and it was great. Yeah.
On September 15th, you scored your first and only goal of the season against San Diego State. What was that feeling like for you?
Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. It was amazing. I mean, just the amount of hard work I've put in and finally getting that first goal. I mean, the first goal is always the hardest, I say, because then you have all the confidence in the world after. But getting that first goal, and my parents were in the stands for that game, so that was even better. That was the cherry on top. So just having them there and was so awesome because my dad's my biggest fan. My mom's always there for me. So just showing them that it finally happened was incredible.
How often were your friends and family able to come attend matches in LA or in the West Coast?
Yeah. I mean, my parents came to probably half our games. My brother actually plays at Utah Tech University. So it was they split half and half, going to his, going to mine. So, which was, I was very fortunate of because, I mean, I saw them probably every other week. So that was super awesome.
So cool. Your final appearance of the season was against the University of Utah in Salt Lake. How fun was it playing back in your home state?
Oh, it was so fun. I had so many fans and friends and family there, incredible fan base. And I mean, just showing the girls on the team, like, this is where I'm from. They were actually allowed to come to my house. My family hosted them for a big dinner before our game. So it was just super fun to show them where I'm from and them coming to my house. It was really cool.
When did you start to think, maybe I want to play a little bit closer to home?
Yeah, I kind of had the inkling I was thinking about transferring probably 6 weeks before we won the tournament. So kind of, I mean, probably right after my Utah game, I kind of had that little inkling feeling. I just kind of thought about what my future would look like and what I want out of my future. And yeah, I mean, the decision was I wanted to play closer to home and be surrounded by family and friends and community support. And yeah, so that's kind of how it went down 6 weeks before.
How much did you go to others for advice on whether or not you should leave after your freshman season? Because like you said, you got playing time as a freshman, which is an incredible team on a very good team. So what was some of the advice you got from people when you were thinking about transferring?
Yeah, I mean, I went to former coaches, former players, my dad, my teammates, and I mean, they just were all very supportive and just wanted what's best for me. And if transferring was best for me, that's what they wanted. And in the end, that's the thing that was best for me. And that's what my future, I think, is the best at, is playing at BYU. And that was the decision made. So I'm so super grateful for it. And I think everything happens for a reason. And BYU's my home. So,
well, like you mentioned, you got to be a part of a national championship team. What was it like being on the sidelines for the final match where your team was down 2-1 in North Carolina and you end up beating the Tar Heels 3-2?
Yeah, I mean, it was so surreal. The environment, the atmosphere, that's every little girl's dream, is playing in those type of games. Even being there was super cool. And yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that people can take out of that game is just to never give up. I mean, there was 5 minutes left. We're down 2-0 and we come back to win 3-2, which is super amazing. It's such an underdog story. But yeah, I just think it shows to never give up. And people can doubt you and people can turn off the game and say it's over with 5 minutes left, but no, it wasn't. And we came out on top, and it was super fun celebrating and being there for the win.
What was Coach Rockwood's reaction when you told her that you wanted to come to BYU after all those years?
Yeah, this is a funny story. I was actually driving home. I was leaving California. I just like packed up my stuff and left, and I entered the transfer portal, which is another whole thing. But yeah, she contacted me because she saw me in there and gave me a call and was just kind of catching up. And she was super friendly, super awesome. Like I said, she's like a mentor, and she was just there for me. And it just showed me how much I want to play for her. And yeah, just win her own national championship, because that's what she deserves. So I'm really excited, and I think this team this fall can really do that.
Ellie, that gave me the chills when you said that. She's just an incredible coach, and I hope you can help her do that. She does deserve it. Did they have a scholarship available for you when she reached out to you?
Yes, they did.
That's so awesome. So what was the reaction from the team when you announced that you were joining the squad?
From UCLA or BYU?
Yeah, let's start with UCLA, because I'm sure those were very different reactions. What were your UCLA teammates that you'd grown close to? What was their reaction when they heard you were transferring?
Yeah, I mean, I think a few of them were very shocked, but I think most of them were also very supportive. They just wanted what's best for me, and if they knew this is what was best for me, obviously they would miss me, but they were super excited and were very happy for me. And they're super awesome, because after they're always on my social media and texting me and keeping updating, keep me in the loop of everything. So yeah, they were super supportive.
How about the teammates at BYU? What was their reaction?
Yeah, I think a lot of them were very excited. I think most of them were, and they were just, I got so many compliments and texts from all the players just saying how excited they were. And like I said, they were so inclusive and very supportive of my decision, and were very excited for me to be here and play for them. So yeah, I mean, it was very awesome, and it was a great feeling to feel like that.
Ellie, you are incredible. I'm so excited to see what you can do on the soccer pitch and how you contribute to the team. And thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You can download and listen to all episodes of Her Why on the BYU Radio app or wherever you find podcasts. Her Why is a production of BYU Radio.